Hello and welcome to the back nine of round one of the 2025 Discraft Great Lakes Open presented by Garrett J. Verberg. We're here in Milford, Michigan at the Toboggan Disc Golf Course. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hockeys.
Honk. We are watching some pretty nice conditions. We're watching our previous champion Holyn Handley shred the course 4 down, 1 behind Paige Pierce, who we're seeing a lot of check-ins of, but she's not actually on the feature card. Gotcha. Missy Gannon, Owen Scoggins, Katrina Allen also on the card here. Missy right behind Holyn. Owen and Katrina having a little bit more trouble finding those birdies.
This is the site of the World Championships next year, so the players really trying to come out here, learn this course, give their all. It's a place that we've been a bunch of times in the past, though, but with some changes to make it harder this year, and this hole is a good example of that.
I think probably the most difficult change. This left and right side did not used to be out of bounds at all, and now it's quite tight. It makes it very punishing to go for the big distance shot, which you used to do, and you used to kind of count this as one of your birdies. If you got enough distance off the tee at 507 feet, even with the large uphill, you felt pretty comfortable going for it. I guess there was OB later in the hole.
No, there was.
Was there?
No. There was no. If there was any, it was on the right side because we used to watch a lot of really good putts from the left side.
Yeah, maybe there was some on the right. I'm gonna look it up. But anyway, this we are gonna see a lot more OB strokes, obviously, than we've ever seen, and you are also gonna see a lot more ladies just kind of play conservative on the first one, making it almost impossible to get there on the second shot.
Yeah, and what Owen's doing here is kind of what you have to do if you're going to try to throw any sort of hyzer. The only way really to get there safely is to throw a big kind of turning shot like we see Holyn right here. But what Holyn's able to do is break the hole a little bit. She's able to land farther up on the hill where the OB lines move outwards, and so the landing zone gets pretty significantly bigger once you get towards the top of the hill.
Right, but only accessible by the top distance players. Katrina also going to find that area. And yeah, you were right. There was absolutely no out of bounds on this hole before.
Yeah, I think this change was kind of made more with MPO in mind because their landing zone is still manageable, but a lot of the FPO landing or a lot of the places where FPO are landing off this tee shot is just too narrow. It's a little bit too pinched. Also, the green has out of bounds on the left and right side, of course, continuing up these lines, but it's inside the circle on both sides. So this second shot is really kind of scary to go for unless you're far enough up the fairway. Missy biting off a lot of distance off the tee, and even with that OB stroke, she's able to get up and down.
Yeah, nice second shot from Missy. Katrina's second, catching a branch, but still going to find the circle.
That branch could have helped her a little bit. It's really easy to flare skip OB with the forehand on the right side.
I like Holyn keeping it low here. She's going to be right at the bullseye for another birdie.
And Holyn making this hole look easy. It is not. Most players are going out of bounds early and then having to make this kind of risky second shot and a long putt. And Owen going to show us how to do it. This is for a really nice par save.
And a really nice slow mez.
Yeah, once you go out of bounds early, I'm counting as a bogey almost. This is crazy.
And you can tell Owen is delighted with that one.
There was only 13 birdies on hole 10. Didn't play as hard as I was expecting, but I think it's just because a lot of competitors just played it for par.
Yeah, where they used to play it for birdie, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're going to go out of bounds, I think doing it how Missy did really late left is the way to go. But it's hard to get aggressive off this tee shot. It's so narrow.
Missy almost saves her par. Holyn going to tap in another birdie.
Yeah, 5 down.
This had the second highest OB stroke count at 25.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is 16 the highest?
Ooh, it's a good question, but I would say probably yes.
Yeah, it's got to be.
28% of the field birdie, 13 birdies. That's higher than I was expecting.
Oh, wow, that is great.
I feel like that kind of is that elite distance number.
Yeah.
Right there. People that are comfortable throwing their distance drivers about 350 with OB right and left.
Rattle them off. Who are the 13? I'm just kidding.
No, legit. And looking at it, it is all distance throwers.
Yeah, obviously.
So
it would have to be.
Oh, and Deanne Carey. She's got some sneaky distance.
And a great putter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone else distance throwers. Hole 11, another long par 3. You'd think the downhill would help, but honestly, the meat of the hole is this gap right here. Oh, man.
Smaller than ever, it feels like.
Smaller than ever. It's, I would say, about 8, maybe 10 feet. And you want to hit it with just a flat shot, honestly. You can try to turn something to the right, but the trees on the right side are just a little too far where you don't necessarily want much turn on the disc. You want it to just either get a late turn or just go straight forever, and you end up by that wide tree that we can see framed up right now, which is inside the circle.
Power forehand is such a great play, but you need to hit that gap either flat or on a hyzer. So easy to do what Holyn did and find that tree. Again, when I came through, it felt a bit headwindy here.
Yep. Forehand is such an advantage on this hole.
It is, but it does take a crazy amount of distance.
Or a crazy amount of flex.
Yes, to find the circle. Own absolutely parking this one.
I thought that was going to be so far left. And then just...
Nah, not when Own throws it.
No, it had just the right amount of time.
Beautiful.
That thing is so overstable.
Uh-huh. Cool shot.
Katrina going to show us the backhand line.
Smooth looking shot and some nice late turn.
Yeah, there's her hyzer flip finally working out.
Wow.
Yes.
That's actually going to park. Oh, I was going to say MPOs. Is that the circle for both MPO's basket and FPO's basket?
Yeah,
it's a great shot.
It's inside both of them. Ooh, Missy.
Also late turn. A little bit more right turning than Katrina's, but also finding the circle. It's so impressive on the backhand.
Yeah, only 10 competitors found circle 1 in regulation. Holyn, pretty fortunate to land in the fairway after hitting that tree. You can get some pretty gnarly kicks into the rough on the right side or just right behind that big tree.
And leaving more work than you would like for that par save. Katrina for her first birdie of the round. Not able to convert that one. Yeah, Holyn super wide straddle with this low branch.
Nice.
Nice.
That was smooth. Missy back in the green with a few putting errors, but that one looked nice and dead center. She's one of 7 birdies today. Quick shout out to Rebecca Cox, who was the only other player to park this hole along with Owen Scoggins. Sweet shots.
Owen finding herself under par for the first time today. Very nice.
There she is.
Getting one of them par 3s. Love to see it.
What's going on, guys? Hold My Bag just launched the greatest disc golf fantasy game in the universe.
Hold My Bag just dropped the best fantasy disc golf game the planet has ever seen.
I want to tell you guys about the newest disc golf fantasy game on the market.
One of my favorite parts is the Hold My Bag. This is something that we started doing, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Hole 12. A par 3, 242 feet. A new pin position. We've asked them to shorten it for years, and they did technically do it. It is still going to be a tough birdie, I think. I do think we'll see more birdies than we do in the long pin position on the left, which we play 2 of the days. Today, we're over here on the right. I think that one tree we just passed on the left is going to be obstructing a lot of the putts you see. I think we'll see a lot of ladies land like just short, just outside the circle, but definitely possible to reach the circle on this one, which is exciting.
It's 25 feet shorter according to the what's listed on the tee sign, but having to have that late turn and that one tree that Erika mentioned, both of those things make it play still very difficult.
But I still think a good change.
Yeah.
It's not a great change.
It's fine.
It's a
change.
It's a slightly better change.
I don't know. You have to see a lot of circle 2 putts. Paige showing us one of those. Let's see if Owen can get a forehand all the way up here. Ooh,
She can't.
yes, she can. That's right on the edge of circle 1.
Yeah, I wanted to look this up. Last year, there were 8 birdies on the weekend.
Today, 8 or 9 players got to circle 1 in regulation.
Yeah. So, better change. Oop, Holyn gonna catch some early stuff, but still almost find the circle. All right. Katrina throwing rollers where no one else does. And what a good shot this is.
Yeah, that's working.
Missy with a pretty awkward little shot here. Easy. Holyn from outside the circle.
Oh, man. Really good run with that low ceiling. It catches a lot of chains, but doesn't quite stick. Owen kind of struggling on these little uphill putts. That's the last one that she missed was with that kind of funny stance.
Yeah, just a little bit different than normal.
Well, what a putt from Katrina. The roller looks like it might have gone backwards a little bit at the very end, but she still capitalizes on the putting green.
How many people got it today?
10 birdies today.
Cool.
Quick shout out to Addison Woodard on my card. She parked it.
Nice.
It was awesome.
Just a turning backhand?
Yep. It slid. It hit the ground and slid from that one guardian tree all the way up.
Cool.
It was very cool.
Paige Pierce now 6 down through 12.
Hole 13, a very fun downhill par 4. There used to be one dominant line, and it was the way this drone is flying right now. It was a big forehand shot or a backhand straight shot. But now they've kind of opened up the right side a little bit. So even if you miss to the right of that tree, you end up oftentimes in a really good spot. The rough on the right side is a little bit more cleared out. Not as clear as last year, but still workable if you do end up over there. Left side is pretty brutal to recover from. So you just want to make sure that you are finishing center or right.
This one, we don't really see a ton of actual eagle looks, but you do occasionally see like the 80-foot look at it. Katrina.
Right after you say that.
Nice.
Yeah. Is she inside circle 1?
She's close, if not inside. And you rarely see the backhand get all the way through like that. Most of the time you see these eagle looks, it's with an absolutely perfect sidearm. What a shot. Does sneak through these branches a little bit. Nice.
Sweet.
Maybe 40 feet away or so. I'm going to show us the forehand line. And that's going to end up a little right. But as Madison said, that's definitely the mistake to make. There's some lines over here, though. She's a little farther right than you would like.
Yeah, we'll see what she has to work with. You kind of want to be just a little bit later. Missy keeping it nice and low. That's so smart on this hole.
Wow.
And she's going to be right at the perfect landing zone, just above those rocks.
Gosh. It looks like she just picked it up and dropped it right in the perfect spot.
Yeah.
Like that looked so effortless.
Ooh, Holyn wanting that to be a little lower. It came out high and kind of nose up. It's going to finish. Oh, it gets
fine.
some good tree love.
Yeah, this is one, if you don't have a birdie look on this one, you're kind of kicking yourself.
This is a strangely difficult approach shot at times.
Yeah.
Holyn making quick work of it. A nice little forehand chip. This played is the second easiest hole of the day. You really are kicking yourself if you are not putting for birdie. There were 59% of the field with birdies, 27 out of 46 competitors.
Wow, I'm not left with a whole lot, but she makes it work. She almost throws it in. That'd be a crazy eagle.
Yeah. And even though it looks really dense, for some reason, there's a lot more airspace on that right side.
Katrina for eagle.
Oh.
Banned. But a good bid and good momentum now, 2 birdies in a row.
I wish there was stats for who had eagle bids, but there's not. There were no eagles today, but I think we'll see one.
Yeah.
We'll see one.
I think so. Missy, uncharacteristically low miss.
And a nice scramble from Owen Scoggins.
Holyn to move to 6 down.
Katrina with the easiest birdie ever.
Yeah. And 2 of the biggest changes on the course coming up here. Page 7 down now. These changes are funny though, because they might seem new to you people, but this is an old iteration of the hole. We used to do this, I don't know, it's called 5 years ago.
Yep.
Hole 14, an uphill par 4, 495 feet. OB lined left and right side. You want to get up as far on the hill as you can. Second shot, you are throwing kind of a sawed-off kind of hyzer, trying to get to this pin, which always feels a little farther back there than you think. It takes a pretty good pump to get there in 2. The OB on the left does cut over pretty early, so there's some nice room to work over there.
Let's check in with Paige, who is currently 7 down. She's taking a big old hyzer route. Landing on the right side of the fairway is a little bit of an advantage. Instead of having to saw it off like Erika said, you can kind of throw more of a straight shot. It just feels a little bit easier to push as far back as you need, but it's so easy to do what Paige just did here and kind of yank over on it while running up the hill.
Looks like Paige still has a circle 2 look at this one. She is on one on the putting green.
She's had some scenic putts today.
She has. She's actually on 8.
Yeah, you like pull out your binoculars and watch that thing as it moves from one ecosystem to another.
Yeah, she was glowing in that little patch of the rough that she was in. Katrina, red hot on the heat map, this landing zone right here. Owen landing a little more on that right side, but kind of right at the base of the hill as it starts to go upwards is pretty classic for the majority of the field to land. It takes huge power like what Paige showed us to get up the hill that far. Holyn pretty conservative on this first shot, which I kind of like because the footing's better at the bottom of the hill. I mean, it takes a bigger second shot, but you're not doing that uphill run up that Paige had.
And not having to mess around with OB at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no one on the lead card really getting too crazy. Or in the feature card.
Yeah, but I do. I think it's a good play. The run-up's more manageable. And that's a nice looking shot from Katrina.
You see this a lot, just flirting with that little rope wall on the left side. A lot of disc land right there. What is that? What do you call those?
What do you call those? Leave it in the comments for us.
Little corral.
Yeah, horse fence for sure.
Yeah. Look at this, Missy connecting with it. Really showing that what we're saying is accurate.
Forehand, gosh. Oh, never ceases to surprise. No way she hits the rope.
That was going to have enough speed to get all the way to the circle.
What are the chances of hitting a teeny tiny little rope? Incalculable. Yeah. Yes. Really hard to calculate.
Hitting the horse rope.
Holyn gonna find the circle, but one tree in her way, looks like, for the birdie. Missy so close to converting that long circle 2 look. I wonder if Owen saw that she hit the rope. Pretty bad break, honestly. That was a great shot. Katrina with no real look at it. Let's see if Holyn can find the birdie. She can.
Nice birdie. 1 of 11 on hole 14 today. These are called stanchions with rope.
Oh, okay.
The posts are called stanchions.
So I would say we were close.
We were very close. Or they call it a classic post and rope barrier. That's an actual park term.
Classic.
Just educating you guys on park terminology.
Yeah, because you guys clearly need it.
I feel like that will be incalculably valuable in your future.
Yes.
There were 11 birdies on hole 14. I think we'll see a few more here and there, but that one really does cater to the distance throwers.
Yeah, it was definitely easier the last few years when we were playing from the MPO tee pad to the shorter pin that was at the bottom of the hill.
Short, but pretty boring. So
Yeah, it was more. I do think,
happy with the change.
yeah, I like that hole better. And this hole is fun. It is much harder, though.
Yeah, there's the old tee pad that we used to play from, and I loved this par 4 from here. This big downhill shot is, of course, fun. Everyone loves to throw a downhill shot, but it really does make the rest of the hole interesting. It takes a pretty big smash to get down to that tee pad from last year, and you're adding just another stroke to a hole that always plays as one of the more difficult holes of the day. Largely due in part to how rough the rough is. Both left and right are not out of bounds, but they are brutal, and you want to stay out of there. Especially this initial shot off the tee. If you go deep out of bounds, like where
this.
Paige is, it can be pretty tough to recover from. Even,
Understatement.
Yeah, even short of there is pretty pinched off. It looks like Paige just pitches out on her second shot, and she's going to be right by the old tee pad, playing a hole that she's played a bunch of times.
But playing for par and still out of position here.
Ooh, dang. I didn't realize how close she got into the rough on that. This is, this is a pretty interesting decision from Paige, just because she knows how punishing that rough is on the left side. And going for it, oh, man.
Yeah. Kind of a worst case scenario on 15, which it's just so hard because the tee shot, I mean, even if you throw the perfect distance, the landing zone is actually quite small to be able to open up the next shot. And Paige going to take a double there.
Yeah. Drawing medal on the 7th shot, that was cool, but it's played as the second most difficult hole of the day. And I don't know, I can't quite guess if this is one of those holes that's just going to take FPO a minute to get used to, or if it's just, does play a full stroke harder with this par 5.
I would say if you don't land within probably 30 feet of that tee pad, ideally in front of or to the right of it, like, you're not going to get a birdie. And then if you are out of position from there, you're working pretty hard for par.
Yeah, and the only way to get a birdie being out of position is to take a very, very high risk, like we saw Paige even doing, to just recover the par. And it's just, this is not the hole to fight the battle on once you're out of position. It's just not.
With a decent shot here, but again, not quite in position to attack.
You can see everyone kind of erring over to the right side. The left side rough is
horrible,
insane. It's obviously everyone is very frightened of it. Missy might find the OB line.
I think she's all right.
Yeah, she's fine. Okay. But there was also kind of a sneaky wind on this hole that you couldn't quite tell from up on the tee pad. it was a swirling right to left, sometimes left to right. So it just kind of depended on the moment. But both of those are really going to highlight any errors that you make on your disc angle, especially on this really elevated tee pad. Katrina just trying to get back out into the fairway with that forehand. We'll see what she has to work with.
If anyone can make a birdie happen from here, it's her.
Oh my God.
Wow. She was really going for it.
Oh, I thought she was between that gap.
That's kind of what you have to do, though. I was in the same spot, and you just have to throw right at those trees and hope.
I was in the same spot as Holyn, and this shot from her is incredible because it's such a tight gap.
Yeah.
And if you miss right, you're
Bye.
Yeah, you're done.
Missy's third, still blind. I'm curious how aggressive she's going to get here. It looks very aggressive.
Dang, I like that.
Yeah, nice. I like that she kept it nice and low, but put some good power on it.
Yeah, you can't see from where she threw, she could not see where she landed. So a blind shot, really nice gauging of the angle.
Katrina putting a lot of power on this forehand. It's going to turn too far, and any rough on either side can be so difficult to get out of on this hole, on any hole, but this one is, it's bad.
Oh, and with that nice overstable finish that she relies on in her shots, and that is so good. Really riding the rough line on the right. Katrina going to try that forehand again, and it works great this time.
Holyn able to see the pin and attack for birdie. She's maybe 250 feet away.
Yes.
It plays like less distance than that, but the angle's tricky, and she nails it.
It's also easy to come in hot.
Yeah.
And go deep of the basket and have a very scary comeback putt.
A nice fourth shot from Missy. Oh, looking like she's trying to throw that rock 3 in. Yeah, I'm curious to see how the stats will kind of play out as the weekend progresses on this one.
Me too. There was only 3 birdies. There was only 3 birdies on hole 15 today. It played as the second most difficult hole of the day, averaging at half a stroke over par. And there's not really any OB. So that just really tells you how difficult all of these shots are.
That being said, I like the idea of this par 5. I'm not quite sure how to make it just like a little bit more scoreable, if that's possible. But I do think this 14 and 15 is more interesting than the previous versions.
Yeah, and not even, I mean, I liked 15 the way it was last year, but
Yeah,
I can see like not having to walk down the hill. And everyone likes a downhill tee shot, but it doesn't even need to be more scoreable. It's just hyper punishing right now.
It is, yeah.
And it doesn't
Maybe just clear out the sides a little more.
just maybe here and there.
Yeah.
It just doesn't incentivize people being aggressive. Quick shout out, Holyn Handley got it. We got to watch it, but Raven Klein and Hannah win.
Hole 16, an incredibly difficult island hole at 396. It does play a little bit shorter, but not much. You gotta land it safe, or there's a drop zone in circle 2 that's pretty risky to run it because there's OB right behind the basket. You gotta miss this tree that we're passing, the one that's to the left. You see mostly shots that take the line the drone is flying. You do see a lot of shots mess around with that tree or even go left of it. For the most part, you're going to see backhands. I can't really think of anyone who throws a forehand, but Owen will probably do it because I said that. I'm
Is
guessing
that forehand not open on that left side or
It's
something?
just-
Why don't people do it?
it's just a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. It looks
I
like
think
it-
just with that where the left side, all the trees on the left there, you would have to throw a flex, and then that right side comes up really fast as well with the skip.
Yep. Okay, I can see.
And Owen playing the left side, that's a solid play. This is one almost no one birdies, and you are stoked to be in bounds on. Ooh,
Get down.
Missy.
the worst thing ever is if you go deep here, OB, but Missy calls for it to get down. It does, and she is just outside the bullseye.
I thought she was doing like an angels in the outfield kind of a thing.
Here's Katrina showing us that hyzer flip play.
Great shot.
There were only 5 competitors that got to circle 1 in regulation out of 46. You see a ton of players landing and dealing with these low-hanging tree branches on their approach. Owen makes quick work of it.
Holyn not going to mess around with that drop zone. So easy to find the OB that's maybe 12 feet to the left, maybe even less. Katrina for that rare look at birdie. Hard to make yourself run that one. Missy, wow.
So cool.
What a drive.
Missy, one of only 4 birdies on hole 16 today. Sophia Dunica also got it from circle 1. And quick shout out to Allie Smith and Ella Hansen for both parking the hole.
Cool.
That's so cool.
And only 1 bogey on hole 16 is actually great for a card. 1 birdie, wow.
Handley now with that 7 down, even with the bogey through 16 holes. Moving along to one of the most difficult tee shots on the property, but because it's a par 5, a friendlier par 5, we do see it playing a little bit easier for the FPO field. The tee shot, we do have a pinched OB line, one of the changes on the course that I don't love. It used to be up on the berm, and now it is down at the bottom on the inside edge of it. And it's easy for disc to go out of bounds off the tee, just kind of filtering that direction. After that, all you really have to worry about is the rough. Some players will go for it for eagle. Paige could be one of those players here, going huge off the tee and a big hyzer second shot. But a lot of players just going to the bottom of the hill and then pitching up the hill, taking an easy birdie.
Yeah, putting the OB on the inside of the berm is, I think, just a little mean.
Yeah.
Because it used to be just on the other side, and so that berm would kind of catch the discs. And now they've taken that away from us. Paige not really messing around too much. Wow. With the berm and able to go huge on the second.
Well, you don't have to mess around with it if you go that big off
Oh,
the
yeah,
tee.
for sure.
My Paige with the
Eagle.
eagle. Come on.
What a bounce back after the double, too.
Man, that is so cool. She made that look easy.
Yeah, she sure did. That second, I mean, the tee shot, insane. But that second shot, something truly special.
Yeah, it's, let's see, 26 feet of elevation gain on
Nice.
that second shot. Second shot for Paige.
And it feels like more.
Missy doing a really great job of managing the disc angle. She's so good at throwing that thrasher dead straight, landing straight.
Own working the right side. They did clear out the right a little bit more than in previous years.
They cleared it out a lot.
Yeah, so that,
I didn't realize that.
yeah, it is nice that they did that considering they brought the line in. Because I used to take that line even when it was, pushed farther out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more stuff over there.
Owen's still doing something that not that many competitors do. Katrina doing what all of us do, which
Finding
is
the bush.
Yeah, throwing a shot that's supposed to go straight, but just gets a little too much turn. Holyn is able to throw far enough to get past the pinched landing zone that a lot of us are eyeing, and she goes way into the more open area. We'll see if she's in position to go for the eagle from there. She might be just a bit too far straight.
Katrina having to work with a difficult stance here, but she gets an amazing amount of power from there.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's such a difficult angle as well, especially considering from that bush you couldn't tell that there was a tailwind on that angle of the fairway.
And they also cleared out this corner quite
Yes,
a bit, which
they
is
did.
also very nice.
Super nice. And I think a major part as to why it played so much friendlier this year in the middle of the pack on difficulty.
Yeah, you used to see a lot of ladies land in that corner short right and just have nothing. Holyn looking like she was dealing with some footing issues there. That's still going to leave her in position to birdie. Missy also leaving it pretty low and a little short. It's okay. It wouldn't have been last year.
Yeah.
Katrina going to show us the up and over play. You got to put a lot of height on this, and that's a very stable disc. Wow. She's going to find the left side, it looks like.
On this angle as well, there's a right to left wind. That disc just carries straight left.
Holyn working a turning shot. Puts good height on it.
Nice. Uh-oh. So much spin.
Just kept skibbling. Owen going standstill forehand.
She's going to catch one branch that takes a bunch of the spin off of the disc. She'll have some work to do, and she hasn't been liking those uphill putts.
Ooh, nice looking shot from Missy there.
Yes, into the bullseye.
Katrina very uphill from outside the circle.
And that would have been such an impressive birdie from landing in the bush. That's not something I would ever even consider having a run at.
Yeah, most people wouldn't. Holyn finding, I think, just one chain on the right.
One very friendly chain.
And finding that birdie.
Owen finding some friendly ones on the left and making good on a little uphill putt. Another birdie for Owen with a nice clean back nine.
And Missy going to move to 5 down with that one.
3 of the 14 birdies on the day today, and then we got to watch Paige Pierce with the 1 eagle.
Man. 8 down through 17. So good.
Yeah, and I do think it played maybe 2 strokes more difficult this year, maybe 3.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
Hole 18, a par 4, 495 feet. Not one most of the field is considering getting the birdie on. Very narrow gap off the tee and a narrow landing zone. Though if you have big distance, you can get nearly to the top of the hill and potentially attack for birdie. It's not impossible. It's just really difficult. The OB really kind of pinches around this corner. You have to be very strategic, and a lot of times the shot is blind because you're landing on the hillside. So you see kind of a lot of conservative second shots and just par plays on this one. To get all the way up there, I think you do really have to push the right side like Paige just did.
Wow. That is smoked. She might be able to even see the basket.
Maybe not quite, but wow,
Yeah.
inside the circle.
And that second shot is so scary. Like Erika said, it is blind for most people, so a lot of people going really conservative. Also, nice eagle birdie finish.
Yeah.
The OB is also inside the circle on the left and right side of the green, so it makes it that much scarier to take the risk.
What a great round from Paige. You do see some forehands on this one, though I do think the backhand is more common. Really typical landing zone for Missy. Maybe just a little bit farther than most of the field.
Owen gonna work the forehand.
Yep. Holyn trying to put a lot of power on this, but she's pushing that left side and gets a nice break.
Yeah, friendly kick off of the stanchion.
Nice. And Katrina pushing the right side, getting way up there.
Yeah, doing that aggressive play we saw from Paige as well.
Nothing like a kick off the stanchion.
Owen, looks like she's going for it here.
Does. What an aggressive play. Wow. Girl,
That's so good.
that's insanely risky. And just showing us how much trust she has in her game plan and her discs.
Missy also seems to be going for it. You see this oh, okay. You see this all the time, hitting those trees on the right and usually going out of bounds.
Usually, yeah. Nice break. Man, these are some big tee shots.
Wow.
Sweet.
Another friendly tree.
And Holyn, I think still blind, but in a similar position we saw Paige go from. I do love the forehand on the second if you're far enough. Another birdie putt. Man, is this hole playing easier? Or are they just making it look that way?
It's the 5th most difficult hole of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were getting some really lovely little tree kisses as well. Yeah. Missy just going to chip one up, own inside the circle. And she's going to finish her round out with another birdie. And just slowly stacking them together here on the back 9.
Yeah, what a great finish after kind of a slower start for Own. Holyn to tie it up at 9 down with Paige. 1 off her own course record. Looking
She's so
chill.
happy. She's so happy.
Looking like Island Holyn.
Holyn and Own 2 of 8 birdies on hole 18. Only 6 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation, only 9 to circle 2, so it did play tough.
Missy with a nice 5 down round.
There were 20 OB strokes on hole 18.
Oof.
Yeah, it's tight. And a nice birdie from Katrina. She's one of those 8 as well. And she also, a little bit of a rough start, but really fought back at the end.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your willpower going after a front 9 like that. So impressive back from Katrina. Paige Pierce, Holyn Handley leading the way, 4 strokes ahead of Missy Gannon. Owen Scoggins going to round out the card. She's 5 strokes back. And yeah, Paige and Holyn really separating themselves early on this 4-day event.
Yeah, we will have some more wind in the forecast tomorrow. And from what I heard, it's going to be up to 20 miles per hour. And that could be something that builds throughout the day. But we did have a front push through that chilled everything out today. And normally we do get to deal with that wind tomorrow. One thing about Declo, though, is it's bowl-shaped in many of the areas. So it makes for some very swirly conditions and very exciting drives from these big uphill and downhill tee pads. Sometimes players will play more aggressively. Sometimes they'll chill out. We'll see what's happening tomorrow on Friday of this final DTPT Plus event. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese.
Honk.
Honk.
And don't forget, we're almost a half a milli, so come hang with us on the YouTubes.
Yes, please.
Okay, bye.
Sunshine, get up on my body, know it truly, I feel fine. Get up, watch your body, and I feel that sunshine. Get up on my body, know it truly, I feel fine.